thought it was interesting that Rachel has a very low tolerance, which is partly my fault because I really like the hot, steamy, you know. I fit in really well here. My office has a humidifier in it, and I swear it's cloudy in there. And I thought it would be neat if Trent liked the exact opposite, that he could take the cold and he could take the chill. But yes, it can get too cold for him, and we probably won't see it because it's not really a big thing for me. But I think it's interesting that they're, you know, they're a lot alike, but they aren't.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Higher.
Every year, and I get maybe one or two, and then either the bucks get them, or they crack, or whatever. I'm going to try again this year. They have a new one out, and I'm going to try to get a hold of it. It's blue. It's blue, a skinned blue fruit. They put some kind of gene in it that's in the blueberry for the antioxidants.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I like it. Yeah, T3 tomato. The reason I chose the tomato as the demise for the human race, partially it was a nod to the movie Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which is just too silly to really exist, but it does. Another one is kind of like a wake-up call. You know, watch out what you're doing to your food supply, people. But yeah, I like tomatoes. Okay, anyone I haven't called on yet? Yes.
Has he gotten further into the series? Has it been easier to write each book, or is each one still like a different?
That is a great question. She wants to know, as I get further on into the series, is it easier or harder to write the next book? And I would say that it's easier from the standpoint that I know the characters, I know what they would do, I don't have to second guess them, there's less backtracking when I get to a point where I find myself, it's not writer's block, but I've realized I've done something wrong and I have to drop back and move forward in the direction the character would go. That's easier. It's harder that now I've got 10 books behind me, and I have to make sure that I'm not contradicting myself or getting me into a situation where I have to say, oh, but then we have the magic M&Ms, which allow us to break the rule that I made in book 3, which I don't like doing. I like M&Ms, but not for breaking rules. I like my rules. I love rules. But most of them are just in my head, and I have to keep track of them that way. And that is getting harder. And I won't lie to you, that's part of the reason why I'm closing The Hollows down. But mostly it's because Rachel wants her happy ending, and I'm about ready to give it to her.
Do you know what you're going to do with the blue butterfly chrysalis on the windowsill, or you're just leaving it there?
Al's blue butterfly chrysalis. Yeah, that has been haunting me. It is still there. It will. I have a feeling it will figure into book 12. It hasn't really figured into book 11, but it is intertwined with Al, and as soon as Al is ready to let go of that secret, we've been seeing bits and pieces of it. I don't like dream sequences, but that's where I've kind of been getting them in there. I feel that the blue butterfly is a symbolism that Al has given his lost innocence, his lost love. He knows that it's fragile, and he knows that it's short-lived, and he knows that he can't catch it, he can't find it, he can't make it his, even though it's right in front of him. And if he does catch it, he breaks it. And we'll see. Boy, that's the longest one I've ever explained about Al's blue butterfly. Usually it's very short. Yes.
Will we ever find out what ended up with Keesley and spoiler Glenn?
Okay. The question was Keesley and Glenn. Some of them, we will not find out probably what happened to Keesley. He felt like he had been outed, and he just kind of slid back into the woodwork, and we probably will not. Unfortunately, there are quite a few characters that I will not be able to bring back to, solidly close off their story threads if they do not help me close out the books, we will not see them probably, because I have to be very careful now with how I use my word space, my page space. Having said that, we will see a lot of people that have been in Rachel's past starting to, show up again, which has been kind of fun in some cases and kind of not in others. But yeah, I'm trying to give happy endings to everybody, but we'll see.
I'd just like to throw out a suggestion following that up. Obviously, you can't close down for everybody, but with all those little loose ends, you might consider making a note to yourself at some point to go back and just do an anthology of short stories that wraps up in stories later as a standalone.
Maybe. You've been talking to my editor?
Your last couple books have shown, on the cover, have shown Rachel's face, and then all the other books before that, her face was always hidden. Was there a reason why that? Did you have any input on that?
Okay, the question was, the covers have been evolving. At first, we did not see Rachel's face at all. We'd see a leg or a boot, very nice boot, but I'd rather see a face too. My editor, I think, has been the major push behind seeing Rachel's face. A lot of the foreign editions have shown her face. The UK editions have always shown her face. The first one had a very Kill Bill feel to them. They're redoing them, and they look very posh. They're just sharp. I think we are trying at the publishers to take the hollows out of the niche market that it pretty much is in and make it more mainstream. And part of that is the covers. In the latest one, there is a ghostly man in the background who could be anybody you want. He's there for atmosphere, basically. He's not romance. He's kind of hinting at romance because there's a guy back there. But he's not posh enough to say, romance. He's more threatening. So there's a lot of science behind those covers. And I'm glad that we can see Rachel's face. It is the same model, I do believe, from one to the next. How are we doing for time? We good? Okay, good. Yeah.
This is my first time meeting you. I just bought the book today. It's not the one here, but I'm looking for. It's so great to see everybody so in tune to an author. It's really nice. I can't wait to start the book. My question to you is, how do you start your day, a typical day of writing? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person?
I'd like to lie to you. The question is my typical day. I'd like to lie to you and say that I am a morning person, but my husband is standing right there. Well, I think I am. Just that I'm not up at 5:30.